Hello. In my last lecture, we see the uses of the dimensions to convert one system of unit into the other system of unit and how the method of dimension is used to check the correctness of the given equation. Today we will see how we use the method of dimensions to derive the formula. Suppose we want to derive the formula for the time period of the simple pendulum, and we know that the time period of the simple pendulum depends on the length of the pendulum and acceleration due to gravity. But up to what power we don't know. So we write down the time period of the formula in this way. Time period is proportional to the length to the power A and acceleration to the power B. This constant of proportionality is replaced by some constant K. Now we replace the time period, length and acceleration due to gravity by this dimensional formula. Let the dimensions of the time period is T, dimension of the length is L, dimensions of the acceleration due to gravity is Lt minus 2. Thus, when we replace these physical quantities by their dimensional formulas, then this equation is obtained. Now, multiplying the L by A, it gives LA, and multiplying the L by B gives LB. T minus 2 by B gives T minus 2B. Now collect the powers of L, it becomes LA plus B. Collecting the powers of T, it becomes T minus 2B. Collecting the powers of M, it remains M to the power 0. Now the next step is to equate the powers of L on left hand side and right hand side. Then the power of M on left hand side and right hand side, the power of T on left hand side and right hand side. Now see, the power of L on left hand side is 0 and on right hand side it is A plus B. Similarly, the power of time on the left hand side is 1 and power of time on right hand side is minus 2b. Power of m on left hand side as well as on right hand side is 0. So we are not equating the powers of m. Now from this equation, b is equal to minus 1 by 2. Now put the value of this b in this equation. It becomes a minus 1 by 2 equals to 0, which gives that a is equal to 1 by 2. Now put the value of a and b in this equation and it will give these values, which can be written in this way, and it is the formula for the time period of the simple pendulum, where the k is constant and its value is determined with the help of experiments. Now let us apply this method to derive one more formula, that is for the centripetal force. As we know, the centripetal force depends on the mass, velocity and radius. But up to what power of mass, velocity and radius we don't know. So we just write the relation that force is centripetal force is proportional to mass to the power A, velocity to the power B and radius to the power C. Dimensions formula, it can be written in this way. Now replace the force by its dimensional formula, and the dimensional formula for the force is mLt minus 2. K is a dimensionless constant. Now replace mass by its dimensional formula, velocity by its dimensional formula, radius by its dimensional formula. Now collect the powers of mass. It is same. Powers of L, it is B plus C. Power of time, it is minus B. Now the next step is to equate the powers of mass, length and time on left hand side and right hand sides. Power of mass on left hand side is 1. Power of mass on right hand side is A. Power of length, power of L on the left hand side is 1. Power of L on right hand side is B plus C. Power of time on left hand side is minus 2. On right hand side minus B. This equation gives B is equal to 2. Here A is 1, B is 2. Put the value of B in this equation. It will give you 2 plus C equals to 1. It means C is equal to 1 by 2. Is it true? No, it is wrong. C is equal to 1 minus 2 and is equal to minus 1. So, the formula for the centripetal force is K m to the power A V to the power minus 1, B V to the power 2 and R to the power C, that is minus 1. So the formula for the centripetal force is mv square upon R, where K is a dimensionless constant and its value is determined with the help of experiments. And from experiment it is found that the value of K is 1. So the formula for the centripetal force is mv square upon R. Now let us discuss the advantages of the dimensional analysis. Dimensional equations are used to validate the correctness of the physical equations. Dimensional equations are used to derive the correct relationship between different physical quantities. Dimensional equations are used to convert one system of units to another system. Now, the limitations of the dimensional analysis. Dimensional analysis gives no information about dimensionless constants. They have to be determined either by the experiment or by mathematical investigation. This method is applicable only in power function. It fails in case of exponential and trigonometric relations. This method cannot be used in an equation containing two or more variables with same dimensions. It cannot be used if the physical quantity depends on more than 3 physical quantities. This is because by equating powers of m, l and t, we can obtain only 3 equations. So power of 3 variables can be determined by this method, not more than 3. This method cannot be used if the physical quantity contains more than one term, say sum or difference of two terms. For example, S is equal to ut plus half at square. Method of dimensions can only check whether the relation is correct or not. This method neither be used to derive such relation or to tell it is absolutely correct. Thank you and have a nice day.